at the... But you did tell him what happened, so he could put a report out about the man who robbed you and took your car. Is that correct? Yes. That was Officer Corbin, correct? I guess. I don't remember his name, but it says it on the report. But you do remember telling the officer what happened, correct? Yes. And he wrote down a summary of what you said, correct? Yes, he did. And he even asked you to read the summary and initial it, didn't he? Yes, but I was very nervous. Are those your initials at the bottom of the summary paragraph on the report? Yes. Mrs. Welton, will you now read out loud to the jury what Officer Corbin wrote down after talking with you? Welton hesitated as she studied the summary before reading it. Christina Medina, the prosecutor, used the moment to stand and object. Your Honor, whether the witness initialed the officer's summary or not, counsel is still trying to impeach her testimony with writing that is not hers. The people object. Judge Michael Siebecker narrowed his eyes and turned to me. Judge, by initialing the officer's report, the witness adopted the statement. It is present recollection recorded, and the jury should hear it. Siebecker overruled the objection and instructed Mrs. Welton to read the initialed statement from the report. She finally complied. Victim stated that she stopped at the intersection of Camden and Elevado and soon after was struck from behind by a car that pulled up. When she opened her door to get out and check for damage, she was met by a black male, 30 to 35, YOA. I don't know what that means. Years of age, I said. Keep reading, please. He grabbed her by the hair and pulled her the rest of the way out of the car and to the ground in the middle of the street. He pointed a black, short-barrel revolver at her face and told her he would shoot her if she moved or made any sound. The suspect then jumped into her car and drove off in a northerly direction, followed by the car that had rear-ended her vehicle. Victim could offer no... I waited, but she didn't finish. Your Honor, can you instruct the witness to read the entire statement as written on the day of the incident? Mrs. Welton, Judge Siebecker intoned, please continue to read the statement in its entirety. But, Judge, this isn't everything I said. Mrs. Welton, the judge said forcefully, read the entire statement as the defense counselor asked you to do. Welton relented and read the last sentence of the summary. Victim could offer no further description of the suspect at this time. Thank you, Mrs. Welton, I said. Now, while there wasn't much in the way of a description of the suspect, you were from the start able to describe in detail the gun he used, isn't that right? I don't know about how much detail. He pointed it at my face, so I got a good look at it and was able to describe what I saw. The officer helped me by describing the difference between a revolver and the other kind of gun. I think an automatic, it's called. And you were able to describe the kind of gun it was, the color, and even the length of the barrel. Aren't all guns black? How about if I ask the questions right now, Mrs. Welton? Well, the officer asked a lot of questions about the gun. But you weren't able to describe the man who pointed the gun at you, and yet 2 hours later you pick his face out of a bunch of mugshots. Do I have that right, Mrs. Welton? You have to understand something. I saw the man who robbed me and pointed the gun. Being able to describe him and recognize him are two different things. When I saw that picture, I knew it was him, just as sure as I know it's him sitting at that table. I turned to the judge. Your Honor, I would like to strike that as non-responsive. Medina stood up. Judge, counsel is making broad statements in his so-called questions. He made a statement and the witness merely responded. The motion to strike has no foundation. Motion to strike is denied, the judge said quickly. Ask your next question, Mr. Haller, and I do mean a question. I did, and I tried. For the next 20 minutes, I hammered away at Claire Welton and her identification of my client. I questioned how many black people she knew in her life as a Beverly Hills housewife and opened the door.